Grand Rising, Kings, Queens, family, off pausers out there. What's going on? Mr. Off Pause over here. Man, so, broadcast is brought to you by Momentum with Jay. Can't have a moment without some momentum. Real distinguished gentlemen, distinguished book club, Happily Married TV, 5 Forks Up. All right, man, so let's talk about it. You are great. You are abundance. You are more than enough. You always think both. You focus on obstacles or opportunities over obstacles. You are a money magnet. Let's get it. So, me and wifey, we had date night last night, which was a complete success. You know how that go down. Date night is always a success when you're messing around with successful people. It's crazy. But yeah, so we went to this restaurant, right? I'll say, you know what I mean? We do our little 5 Forks Up thing. Like our 5 Forks Up thing is like a rating system for food. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like service, the atmosphere, the food, is it how it tastes, is it hot, you know what I'm saying, all kind of stuff. So we got like a whole rating system, you know what I'm saying, for food, for restaurants or whatever, because we go on date night every Wednesday. So I'm like, why not do it, right? So we go to this one yesterday. Everybody talking about, man, this food great and all this, and the food good and all this, but man, it's the thing, man. Just because something's more expensive don't mean it's better. So that's what we talk about today, man. Just because something costs more does not mean it's necessarily better. You know what I mean? Because with the food, we compromised a lot. Like we was in that mug for an hour before we got our food. Like, you know what I'm saying? After we got our order taken, it was an hour before we got our food. And this shit was expensive. You know what I'm saying? Well, it wasn't expensive, but it wasn't Applebee's. It was like more like Red Lobster, eating like high end, you know what I'm saying, food. $70 a person, you know what I'm saying, $75, $80 a person, but you know what I'm saying, that's not expensive, but you know what I mean? Like, so, with that being said, we didn't get our food for an hour. It was like the whole experience was pretty much jacked up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that got me to thinking about it. Like, man, just because it's more expensive don't mean it fits. It touches all the criteria you needed to touch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they I gotta say, I don't know if they goal is to have people sitting there for that long or whatever. But when I used to work at the one restaurant, man, we had a 40-minute table turn time. 40 minutes from the time you hit the door. It should be 40 minutes before you leave. See what I'm saying? This shit, it was an hour before we got our food. So we gave them 2 forks. We still tipped them accordingly, but I'm just saying. Like, and then it was like, so we got some butter for our bread. They bought us some bread out. They gave us butter for it or whatever. And then I got some cinnamon butter for my sweet potatoes. Man, the butter for this bread was bricks. Like, I'm talking about, it was bricks. Like, you couldn't spread it on the bread because it'd tear the bread up. You know what I mean? Like, literally tear the bread up. And so I'm like, what happened to send butter out at room temperature, stuff like that. You know what I mean? To get it softer, not to melt it, but to get it soft enough to spread on some bread. And then I got my sweet potatoes. This butter was, man, man, it was, I'm talking about, bro. These was the hardest butters I've ever seen or tasted. Like, I literally could pick it up with my hands and it won't even touch. Like, the butter wouldn't have came off my hands, or wouldn't have came off on my hands. Shit was solid. But then I'm also thinking, like, man, if we would have went to, like, a Mexican restaurant, y'all know what it is. We had our food in like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We'd have been in and out of that motherfucker in 30 minutes. And it's not really expensive. So, you know what I mean? It's not $40 a plate, $70 a person. You see what I mean? So you got to understand the difference between value and price. So that's what we're talking about, value and price. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was talking about the melting pot, right? And the one person was like, man, I don't see why they charge you to cook your own food. And we like, well, it's the experience you're paying for, not the food. It's the experience. See what I'm saying? So far as you got to understand what you're going there for. If you're going there to eat, or if you're going there for an experience. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going for an experience, I'm just letting you know it's going to cost a little more. But if you're going there to eat, it may cost you, but it ain't going to cost you that much. Because their goal is to get you fed and get you out of there. You know what I mean? Now, people with the experience, they're going to try to keep you there a little longer because they want you to experience something. And I get it. But I'm like, I'm not here to experience nothing. I want to eat. So yeah, so I feel like where we were yesterday, it was about price. It wasn't about value. You know what I mean? Like, cause I just feel like they could have did better. You know what I mean? But like we always do, we just be like, all right, we're gonna do this, and then we ain't coming back here no more. So you know what I mean? So that's what it is. I'm sure we can find other $70, $80, $100 places to go eat. So I mean, that one ain't gonna change our, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna change our outlook or none of that on life. But yeah, man. So talking about, that's what I'm saying, price over value. Or cost versus investment. That's basically what it is. Is it a cost or is it an investment? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like educational shit is an investment. Stuff that doesn't, that depreciates is a cost. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like stuff that appreciates and gets and is worth more, that has value to it. Education has value to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't talking about the college education. I'm talking about self-education. Or I ain't talking about high school education. I'm talking about self-education. Like finding something that you're passionate about and learning everything about that. Not what schools teach you. Because their goal is to make employees. I'm just telling you. Schools' goals is to make employees. It's not built for entrepreneurs and bosses. You know what I mean? School literally turns you into an employee. I was in the on social media the one day, my one guy put on there, like his son was talking about quitting school because he like everybody in there want to be an employee. Like nobody's trying to be a boss, nobody's trying to run shit, nobody's trying to be an entrepreneur, none of that. Like, and I'm like, that's what school does to you. That's what it does for you. It teaches you how to be a goddamn robot. It don't teach you how to be, you know what I'm saying, more. It teaches you the status quo. It's exactly what it teaches you. And it doesn't teach you any life skills that you may need. And if you ever notice, they took home ec out of school, man. Like, why would they take that out of school, man? When they was teaching people how to cook and do all that, and you know what I'm saying, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I never took it because I didn't have to, because you know what I'm saying. I was in the house where we had to learn to cook, so I already knew how to cook and do all that. But yeah, man. Just think about that, man. Price and cost and invest. Cost versus investment. And like I said, I feel anything educational is an investment. Could have made that light though. I hate y'all. Yeah, man, some great talk. And y'all get better than you were yesterday. Have a blessed one. Inspire somebody. Be great. Sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Do something your future self would be proud of. You know what I mean? And y'all stay off pause out there, man. Because we off pause over here.